Yo, this David case continues to develop. It feels like we've been talking about this for months now. Not it feels like we have been. But this video, I think I'm gonna be on my Salome Bella. And if you guys don't know who that is, that's that video that we watched when Shorty was like, yo, by Easter, Diddy getting raided. And guess what happened? Right around Easter, Diddy got raided.
Over here, so pay attention to that. I am seeing something by March with P. Diddy, another level of this. We're not done. It's like he's going to have to keep putting tarps over the hole in the roof because the rain keeps.
Now, everything I say is my opinion, all alleged, my predictions. But they're saying David's birthday is in March. I forgot the exact day, but it's in March. I know it was like the 20-something. And I have been seeing all over the internet people saying that the DA definitely likes to arrest people on an important day, so they're thinking he's gonna get arrested around his birthday. I think that's very likely as well. I'm thinking maybe even closer to Easter, but before Easter for sure. And the reason I'm starting to feel like this is the way that his boy Neo's flipping on him. If you guys don't know who Neo is, remember the dude that Reddit always used to say was his boyfriend? Again, that's something we don't know for sure. They love showing the picture that he says it sounds gay. I'm in. Is David laying down next to Neo wearing that shirt?
Sorry. She's not like a stripper, so I have to. No, don't clip that, and I'm not being here, but no, don't, if you can clip that, crop me out, crop me out.
Do I think that they was Ayo? I don't know. Weird for sure. Weird for sure. We've seen them together wearing wigs and a whole bunch of anime outfits. For sure weird. I've never had a relationship like that with any of my friends. But maybe that's just the way that they joke. That's another thing that's in the back of my mind. Like maybe it's just the way that they joke. So I'm not gonna put that on them because we don't know that for sure. But I thought him and his mans was locked in. Because if you guys remember, a couple months ago, we were seeing different TMZ posts. Neo was arrested at his mom's house. Neo was booked in LA. We even see mugshots and paperwork of Neo from the sheriff department. I'm like, oh my God. He got arrested because he refused to testify for the grand jury as a witness.
David has been arrested after allegedly failing to appear as a witness in a Los Angeles courtroom. According to TMZ, well-known streamer Neo Langston was taken into custody in Montana with the help of local authorities who were assisting the LAPD. He's reportedly being held without bond and is being transferred to Los Angeles. This comes as an LA County grand jury reportedly moves toward indicting David in the murder of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. The teenager's body was found in the trunk of the singer's Tesla last year. No charges have been filed as of yet.
So when I saw that, I'm like, oh, he's ready to ride. He's going to ride all the way. We also see him appear in court. And when he appears in court, we hear that when he testified by force to the grand jury after being taken in. And just know, guys, when we talk about legal stuff, I say allegedly random like a Tourette's syndrome. So allegedly. He was taken in. He spoke briefly, I believe, right under an hour, around 40 minutes to be exact.
Hey, Neo, why are you being called to testify today? How did everything go in there? Why were you avoiding testifying? Do you think David is innocent? Is there anything you want to tell the public about the David case? Anything? not walking into court today. Can you tell us anything about where you are in the case? Why is Neo being called as a witness? Why hasn't David been arrested, or where's David at? Can you tell us anything? Thank you.
Oh, he got straight to it. They catered the courtroom. I thought they had a catering business. Like, they didn't even have to bring him and question him behind the scenes, none of that, and bringing him a little McDonald's and nothing. Now they brought him straight to the courthouse. They had that shit catered. He was up there eating a wing while talking. But when I see Harvey talk from TMZ, who, you know, has a lot of legal background, that's not always a good thing on how short it was. And it actually made a lot of sense when you start thinking about people pleading the fifth and all that, because he might be involved, he might not, I'm not too sure, but you could plead the fifth if you can say something that could incriminate you in this case. Harvey does expand a little bit more on this topic.
The break in the David case that prosecutors wanted, at least, finally happened today. The guy they desperately wanted to go before the grand jury had his day. That would be David's...
Had his hour.
Yeah, exactly. David's friend, Neo. This is the guy, he's a famous streamer, and we told you a couple of weeks ago, he was arrested in Montana at his mother's home, and he was arrested on an outstanding warrant for failure to appear as a witness. This is clearly the case they were talking about now, because we got video of Neo heading into the courthouse in downtown LA, where we believe he was before the grand jury. Of course, grand jury proceedings are kept secret. We don't know what was said or what happened in there.
But he was only there for 40 minutes.
Right.
And I will say this, that the DA in the case who is running the grand jury, her name is Beth Silverman, she is a hyper aggressive lawyer in these proceedings. And we have heard and overheard, people in the hallways talking about how she was just going after certain people, and she is a bulldog in that courtroom. And so you would think that if she is trying to grill Neo, and wanted it so much so that she had him extradited from Montana, or at least she had him arrested in Montana, that she had a lot of questions for this guy, and that this was going to last a long time, just as some of the other witnesses lasted a long time. 40 minutes is shockingly short. To me, and I am guessing here because I don't know, and people take the fifth for all sorts of reasons, but it is hard to believe that Beth Silverman had all of these questions asked in 40 minutes. It does not make sense to me.
And so if he took the fifth, this was the last person that we had heard of anyway, and again, it's the grand jury proceeding, so we don't know what's going on, but this was the date we had heard a while ago. In fact, we reported that February 4th was the day that they were hoping to have a witness before the grand jury.
Which is weird because we heard that in December and we thought, why are they waiting?
Why are they waiting until February?
So the only thing that made sense to me was, okay, this is only 40 minutes and you flew this guy out from Montana. Do you think she might have been just so much of a bulldog that she was like not messing around, just like bam, 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 like these are all the questions?
Not the way she's operated the entire grand jury. I mean, we've seen people in the hallways, talking about, boy, she would just not let the...
And like we said, not only that, you see him walking out the courtroom. He's not talking to no one. He's walking focused. I'm like, why he got a backpack on? It was a lot of thoughts going through my mind, but him flipping was never one of them at that point. But this past weekend, we see Neo start posting cryptic messages to his close friends. And it did not stop there. He continued even yesterday. We got a more updated one. But for those that missed the ones that came out a couple days ago, let's review those quickly together. This is looking very scary. So effing happy I'm moving out of this effing state. Sick of the drama, sick of the fake people, sick of the shitty situation, culture where people care more about money and clout than the basic level of human connection. I think the worst part is I've told so many people that I trust, I thought knew me as a person, my side of things, all for them to be thrown out the effing window as soon as I get arrested. And they slapped that D-head's name. That's the part that got me. I'm just saying, we'll get back to that. Next to mine. And for the record, the thing I was arrested for, I wasn't even charged. They never filed it. And my warrant was retracted because there is more to the story than there was on the news. So when I'm seeing things like this being posted, I'm like, okay, he's flipping. He's flipping. It ain't even a question anymore. It's just of when it's gonna happen. Or does he know that this indictment is coming very soon? But when we saw just those, maybe I was like, I don't know, maybe it's the heat getting to him. But what really drew my attention to it was when he called David a D-head and said his name next to mine. Brother, we thought y'all was in a relationship. So what happened? Because you got arrested for not actually speaking to the grand jury. I'm assuming in protection to David. Was it not in protection to David? You just were scared to incriminate yourself in anything?
Big development in the David case. Neo, who was a very close friend of David's, has gone off on the singer in a big way. We thought up to this point the two of them were in lockstep. That is not the case. We obtained posts of Neo's that were posted today, actually Friday, on his close friends feature of Instagram. And it is very clear he is done with David. So it seems that he is saying, number one, and by the way, his lawyer echoed this to us. His lawyer said that Neo has absolutely nothing to do with what the lawyer calls a heinous crime. And that Neo has been smeared on social media and in the court of public opinion. One of the reasons the lawyer is saying that is we broke this story that in the spring of last year, David took a mysterious trip, at least that's the way authorities characterize it, mysterious trip from LA to Santa Barbara in the middle of the night in a remote area of Santa Barbara. And somebody else was in the car with him. There were a lot of people who were speculating that it was Neo who was in the car, and there was talk, rumors, that Celeste may have been in that car as well, although we have absolutely no knowledge of that. This was swirling around social media. Her body was found in the trunk of David's Tesla in front of his LA house in early September. So the question now is, what happened between Neo and David? Something clearly happened, and based on what we know, this may be somewhat of a surprise to David that this happened. I can't say more than that, but this may have caught David off guard that Neo has broken this way. And I think it's significant that whatever Neo was involved in, he says nothing. He says he knows a lot about it. He says he knows a lot more that was in the news, and what has been in the news is a lot. And he's saying he knows a lot more.
Because to call him a D-head in a situation like this at this moment is making me believe that you know something happened or his actions got you involved in this. And now you're trying to, push you out and be like, bro, I had nothing to do with this. I can tell you guys exactly what happened. This is the feeling that I'm getting now. I wasn't expecting this at first at all. Oh, and there was one more. Thankfully, I'm legally fine in every way. And boy, do I got all my receipts for things. Ha, 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 ha. That's another one, like, nah. When me and anyone is talking and receipts they're trying to show that you were wrong and this is the receipt that whatever the statement is, look, I had nothing to do with it. Look, I said otherwise. Look, this is what you did. This is what you said. When I hear receipts, I automatically think of Whack 100 and The Exposer. So for your mans that might be a co-conspirator in this situation to be posting Joker messages on his Instagram close friends, I'm like, oh, nah, you cook, bro. Oh, nah, you cook. He's gonna get you a stainless steel pan for your birthday because you was this cook, David. This is looking crazy. And it's crazy because you guys remember David was cool with Jason that was part of FaZe. And being around him, I'm like, okay, he must know Neo, right? Never again ran by my mind because he gave a couple stories about David and his whole situation and their friendship after a lot of videos are going through the Reddit of them hanging out together. But David usually was always with Neo, so I'm assuming, yeah, Jason would know who Neo is, right? This video comes across my desk as well, which was crazy. Neo was acting like a weirdo around Jason's girl. And Jason, I don't know. I don't like the way you explained it. Maybe, you don't really remember it happened a while ago, but if your girl is lit and you're seeing any dude following her around, why is the conversation even, don't talk to her? And then he's texting your girl and telling your girl, trying to spin the story with you. Why is he even texting your girl in the first place? There's so many questions. This just raised more questions because I'm crashing out in the first step. It wouldn't even get that far. The fact you even text shorty after this, the fact you even got the number to text, I'm crashing out alone.
Her, bro, this dude is weird because I had this off-stream interaction with him and he thought I was trying to press him. Oh my God, this is another story I just never told. Fuck it, I'm gonna just say it. Okay, so that night I went to Tari Yummy's birthday party. Okay, obviously he was there. All right, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Sakura was drunk, and then I was weak. Nah, he was low-key like following her on some shit, and then and Sakura was drunk, and I was like trying to move around, talk to mad people. I was with Cutie and Hassan and even Ludwig, I think, that night. Oh no, Ludwig was not there, but like Valkyrie was there. I was just talking to everybody. I was just Sakura was just having fun and shit. And then I would come back, and Neo would like try to like, I don't know, I guess he was like following Sakura. This is all alleged. Oh, apple juice. Nah. Yeah, apple juice. She was not. Yo, she was on the apple juice. She was on the apple juice. She wasn't actually drunk. She was on the apple juice. This is all alleged, and this is a fake story. But yeah, he was following her, and then I went up to him very nicely. I was like, yo, not gonna lie, like, this is my girl, right? I appreciate it if you just like backed off. Like, I didn't say those words. I definitely said something like that. And I was like, yo, can you chill, bro? Like, this my girl. Like, you gotta relax. And then, yeah, the night after, he like texted Sakura a long ass paragraph saying like, yo, Jason man moving mad weird. Jason's this, Jason's that. All I said was like, yo, you gotta chill out. Like, you're following Sakura, like trying to be touchy on Sakura and shit while she's drunk and shit. Like, and he's trying to pick me as this guy, a bad person to Sakura. Yo, it was so weird, bro. He was so weird. He was so weird, bro. But yeah, I never liked the dude. So.
But Jason does give us a lot of information in this story. This is all alleged. This is all from Jason's point of view. We haven't heard what Neo had to say about this situation, but from Jason's point of view, the dude looks creepy. Very creepy, to be exact. But with all this coming out, I'm thinking, okay, Neo's probably seeing the internet, seeing the uproar. He's gonna stop now while he's ahead. We're probably not gonna get no more messages from him until we get an indictment and trial starts. No, was I wrong? There's more information. And this one was probably the most damning to me, or the most like weirdest feeling one, because he uses a couple words in this that we're gonna highlight, and I want you to let me know what you think when you hear these. Because a lot of people on the internet, I think even including myself, if you go back to some of those early David videos, I was like, I kind of believe the theory that she might have OD'd, she was underage, she was around all these dudes, they panicked, they're kind of weird and just try to like hide the body maybe. But now we get confirmation from CNN as well that there was body parts in the bag. Because remember, we were hearing things online like she was intact, she wasn't intact. It's very disturbing to even talk about. But CNN did give us a lot more information that did make things very weird.
She, for months, was stuffed in that Tesla and just left there.
We've been investigating the mysterious death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. She was a runaway, reported missing multiple times. And then her body was found decomposing in music star David's Tesla in September. We dug through social media, geolocated photos, and spoke with more than a dozen people. So here's what we got. We can link Celeste and David on a long timeline, both before and while she was missing. Check out this Discord message from 2022 when Celeste was just 12 years old. From David, Celeste in here? Then from the screen name Celeste, hi David, bark. This is David's Twitch stream from January 2024, about a month before Celeste is first reported missing. She's 13 years old here, and it's after 3 a.m. And we also obtained this email sent soon after Celeste was first reported missing. It's sent from a person close to Celeste to David at mogul.vision. Mogul Vision is David's management company. There's been talk that the artist David possibly has something to do with the disappearance of 13-year-old Celeste Rivas. If that statement holds any merit, please do the right thing and take her home. We talked to the person who wrote that email, and they asked we not identify them due to safety concerns. David's record company did not respond to our request for comment. Fast forward a few months, David's performing. Let's zoom in on this picture. That's Celeste backstage. Music critic Anthony Fantano says, all you social media sleuths have been on this case early, connecting the dots from different corners of the internet, pouncing on messages like this one. When David said he had writer's block for a new song, one fan replied, drop the one with the missing girl, Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
It's just crazy the context and information that people within this community seem to have. Not only her full, entire government name, but the fact that she's missing too.
Celeste also shows up in these photos that private investigator Steve Fisher recovered from the rental where David lived.
I just don't know how anybody, even if you weren't involved, if you had any knowledge that she was in that car, how you could live with yourself and not report it.
So what do the police know? They haven't publicly said much about this case at all, but we can tell you that a grand jury investigation is ongoing, and in court documents, David has been named by prosecutors as a target.
And the way that Neo speaks in this message kind of ties that all together. I understand due to my silence, and the silence is general, it leaves a void of information that everyone wants filled. But at the end of the day, this case isn't about me. It isn't about you. It's about getting justice for the victim and her family. And I care a lot more about that than trying to fill that void because of public opinion. Obviously wasn't doing my part at first, but now I am. I've stayed loyal to my mindset, and I will continue to. I'm not publicly going to give my opinion or emotion about this case because I find it disrespectful and not my place to weigh in on it, especially as it's still going. I'm not gonna spam post to justify and perform my feelings and thoughts for the internet, trying to satisfy people who have already made up their minds about me. In time, the record will speak for itself, and I'm moving on with my life. The first one I thought instantly when I heard was victim, because a lot of people were saying, yo, this could be like, a wrongful doing or the wrongful death. Maybe, an OD like we said, and they just panicked, they didn't know what to do with the body, but would she still be considered a victim to a crime? Kind of did it to yourself. The way that they're using the way that Neo's using the word victim is like he knows something happened to her. He knows something happened to her that she would be a victim of a situation is what I'm assuming. And this is all, again, alleged, my opinion of what I'm getting from his messages. But to call someone a victim and you keep pointing at David and you keep saying that in time everything's gonna come out, come on, bro. You're basically confirming a lot of thoughts that we're having on the internet of what actually happened to Celeste that night.
Development in the David case that I think everybody overlooked. Neo, who is clearly split with David, no doubt about it from what he posted Friday afternoon. They are no longer aligned, and I can tell you that based on our information, that's surprising to even David, that everybody thought things were copacetic. They are not. Neo clearly has beef with David, and that could really be bad for David, because Neo says he knows a lot about Celeste Rivas and what happened to her. What I think people missed over the weekend is that on Saturday, Neo posted again and basically said he wasn't going to speak out anymore, that he was done speaking, the justice system would run its course the way it would. And then he says this, he says, it's about getting justice for the victim and her family. And I care more about trying to fill that. So the reason that is so significant is that we are told the coroner has had an enormously difficult time establishing cause of death. We don't know whether they have established a clear cause of death yet, but whatever they have done or haven't done, this was really difficult, and it could easily be challenged if and when David is indicted, and that is going to happen. Because it could have been, theoretically, a drug overdose, and somebody panicked, and that's how she ended up in the trunk of the car. And so that wouldn't be a murder, that wouldn't be a homicide, that would be accidental death. And you wouldn't call somebody under those circumstances a victim. But Neo is calling Celeste Rivas a victim. And a victim suggests homicide. And that suggests he knows something beyond knowing that she ended up in the trunk of David's car. So we don't know whether the medical examiner is going to say cause of death undetermined, cause of death accidental, cause of death homicide. We don't know. I doubt they would definitively say accidental. But the question, will they say homicide or will they say undetermined? If they say undetermined, and even if they say homicide, having this much trouble reaching the conclusion, it's going to get challenged. And witnesses are going to be critical in this case. And it sounds like Neo is going to be a critical witness. So here you have Neo, who is furious at David, says he knows a lot about the case. He is calling Celeste Rivas a victim, suggesting a homicide. And clearly, the DA believes Neo knows a lot because they went to the length of arresting him so he would appear before the grand jury.
Remember, there's been a whole bunch of different Reddits that we've seen of David with Celeste, like actual confirmations, allegedly. But we've seen him. Him telling her, I thought you was media trained, while she's talking about what's wrong with kids eating grapes? Like, whoa, hold on. Why did you go to that island? Shout out to Ye with that one. But David talking about islands and stuff. Like, it was just a very crazy, crazy, crazy live. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember it.
No, you didn't.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of kids.
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my. Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes.
But seeing all those things and just confirming and knowing that David was always with Neo and him saying he wasn't doing his part at first, but now he is. You wasn't doing your part, what? Stopping the situation from happening, confirming that David was with this underage girl. Again, this is just all things that I'm taking in from seeing this. And Harvey does talk about this update as well on TMZ. And he's not the only one speaking out. We see his other friend too. I might be mispronouncing her name. I'll put up the post that she's been posting here in response to different people on the Reddit. I believe her name was Asia, if I'm saying her name correctly. And we've seen her with David in different things, like Coachella. Remember there was that picture going around of her with David and Coachella, but she was posting trying to clear her name. It's like a lot of these people close to the situation know that the hammer is about to come down, and they're all trying to do their part to make sure that they're not indicted as well. That's how I'm feeling. Again, me personally, my personal opinion. But you guys let me know what you think. Do you think there'll be a hammer to fall quickly? Do you think it'll happen around David's birthday and they're really waiting to arrest him on his birthday? Is David still in the country? Where is David at? We don't know. No one knows where David is. We haven't seen him at McDonald's. We haven't seen him outside driving his car. Like, we haven't seen no signs of him. There was a lot of talk of him ever going to, I think it was San Bernardino or Santa Barbara, to a far place that they didn't know if Neo was in the car with him as well. Also, was Celeste in that car? Or could it just have been a different home that he owns as off the grid in that town, and that's where he's hiding out now? There's a lot of different thoughts that I'm thinking. When do you guys think this indictment will come? Let me know your thoughts down below. If we see any additional updates while I'm uploading this video or editing this, I will include it here. Sub up to the channel, guys. Do not forget, we're on that road to 22,000 subscribers. Sub up, sub up.